We're following breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ. An arrest warrant has been issued for potential number one NFL draft pick Jalen Carter over his alleged role in a fatal car crash earlier this year in Georgia. The Athens-Clarke County Police say that Carter, who's a standout defensive lineman for the national champion Georgia Bulldogs, was racing staffer Chandler LaCroix in the early hours of January 15th, and they are charging him with reckless driving. LaCroix and sophomore offensive lineman Devin Willock were killed in the crash. Carter is currently in Indianapolis at the NFL Scouting Combine. And for more from a general manager's perspective, let's bring in our resident general manager, Rick Spielman. Rick, I mean, you've been through the draft process, you've been through the combine process, but when something like this happens, what happens if you're a general manager with one of these top three picks that now could be essentially thrown into chaos?
Yeah, this really rocks the combine now when you get news like this. But first and foremost, thoughts and prayers go out to those young people that lost their lives in this car accident. It was just a tragedy. But when you hear the news that there's been an arrest warrant out for Jalen Carter for potentially being somehow involved in this, whether it was a car crash or a car chase or whatever it was, then as a general manager, you're going to have to take a step back now, and you're going to have to really do your due diligence, going through your process, going through the league security. The NFL security also has to be involved in this. Use them as a resource. Use your own team security to try to dig in and learn as much as you can so you know what the situation is, what Jalen Carter is facing going forward. Does he have to go to trial? Will this be settled? Is he going to be potentially doing jail time? So there's so many things that have to be answered, and you have time between now and when that draft comes to get as many of those questions answered as possible. But what happens next is once you get that information, you're going to be in that draft room, you're going to be talking to your scouts, you're going to be talking to your coaches, but most importantly, you're going to have to talk to your ownership, and you're going to have to make a decision with the news coming out today. Is it still worth us taking this player with the type of situation that he's currently in? Has nothing to do with the physical ability or what he is as a football player, but all of a sudden now you have a decision to make as an organization.
Rick, does it change if you've had the chance to already speak with him? I mean, we're Wednesday of the Scouting Combine, so I mean, if you've had the chance to speak with him already, how does that impact, what you may do in terms of keeping him on your board or taking him off your board?
Well, if you've already spoken with him, and I know they started interviews here Monday night, they had interviews last night, and he did not bring that situation up, and then all of a sudden it came up today, you're going to put a red flag on that right away, because if there was potential for anything like that to happen, for anything like that to come out today, you would hope the player would be forthright and just say, hey, here's the situation, I want to be upfront with it, and go from there. But now, if he did not talk about that in the interviews, in the formal interviews, in the informal interviews, and you learn about that today, you're going to have to really reassess where you're going to have this player on your board, if you're going to have him on your board, or if he's going to be a player that you take off your board because of this unfortunate, incident and what cost young people their lives.
So when you're looking at this, whether you've spoken to him or not spoken to him, in terms of keeping an eye on the situation, what do you as a general manager want to see from him at this point in time, as you move forward towards the draft, if there's some questions surrounding him?
Yeah, I'm anxious to see how he responds to these allegations. And, and a lot of times maybe it's because of the lawyers involved or the agent involved, but they may say, I cannot make any comment at this time due to the legalities and the legal situation that I'm currently in, and you understand that. But as an organization, you're going to have to do everything and devote every resource you have to definitely get to the bottom of this, because God forbid you draft this player and you draft him where he's probably going to get picked in this upcoming draft, and all of a sudden he's in jail the next 2 or 3 years. That's going to be a problem.
Resident General Manager Rick Spielman, former NFL General Manager Rick Spielman, joining us here on CBS Sports HQ to discuss the Jalen Carter situation and arrest warrant issued for the potential top draft pick in this year's NFL draft. Rick, thanks for joining us here on HQ. We will follow this situation and provide updates throughout the day.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.